This is 3.4 at home homework. I highlighted your problems. This is the last video before Thanksgiving break. So we're going to go through and do these problems. It says solve these algebraically. And the ones that we need to get a calculator on, we're supposed to round to 3 decimal places. So I'm going to do those with you. So first of all, you've got a log problem and there's no base here. So when there's no base, that means there's a 10. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this from log form to exponential form by doing base stays base. The other two play switcheroo. So I hope we all know that a 10 squared is 100, and then we have to divide by 3 to get z by itself. So z equals 100 over 3. If you want to write that as a mixed number, that's 33 1/3. If you do it on your calculator, that's 33.333 repeating. Coming up here to 52, we have to get the natural log all by itself first. So we have to subtract 3 from both sides. Then we have to divide by 8. You can reduce that to 1/2 if you want, which I'm going to in a minute. And then we have to take e, because we got to get rid of natural log on each side. So those cancel out, so we get x equals e to the 1/2. Now that right there is your answer, or you can type in on your calculator, which I'm going to type it in here and tell you what the decimal is. So I hit second natural log down there by the 4. I would just stick 0.5 in my exponent, and I get 1.649 if you want to round it. So this rounds to 1.649. Okay, on this next problem, we have to condense before we do anything, and the plus means it's going to be the natural log of x times x plus 1 equals 1. So you want to get rid of both natural logs and condense them first. And then we're going to get rid of this natural log symbol. So we're going to do e to this power and e to this power. So that is going to give us, and I'm going to distribute this x when I get rid of it because these reduce. And that's going to give us x squared plus x, when I multiply that in there, equals e to the first. Now there's 2 ways you can do this. One is we could set this thing equal to 0. And that means a is 1, b is 1, and c is negative e to the first. And then you can do quadratic formula. However, I think that's harder. So I'm going to do this like we're going to do number 70 here in a minute. I'm going to let y1 be x squared plus x, this side right here is my y1, and I'm going to let y2 be e to the first power. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those in my calculator, and I'm going to show you that. And I'm going to graph those 2 things as soon as I get my camera over here. Okay. You know what? I've got to come back over here and look at these 2 things because I need to, I need to see those equations because I don't have them written down anywhere. And I still did not move that stupid thing. There we go. All right, so let's see, where am I going to put this? All right, it's x squared plus x. I remember what it is. So I'm going to turn these 2 off because I got to use these in a minute. And we got x squared plus x. And then we have e to the first power. So you hit second natural log and type 1 in for the exponent. And then I'm going to graph those. So the x squared one's going to be that parabola, and here comes the other one. So there's going to be 2 answers where those are the right answers. So what I need to do is I need to hit second calc, and I want number 5 that says intersect. And then I'm going to bring this thing over close to this one over here. So I'm going to hit enter, enter, enter. So So right there's my first answer, negative 2.223. We're rounding to three decimal places. So my first answer for x is negative 2.223. And then I got to get my calculator again. And then I've got to come over here and find that intersection. So I hit second calc 5 again, but I got to take this over here by the other intersection so the calculator knows which one I want. I hit enter, enter, enter. And my second answer is 1. Move that up so I can see it. Oh, it's positive 1. I'm worried yeah, it is 1.223. Let's put a comma, put 1.223. Better make sure that first one wasn't a negative 1. I think it was a negative 2, but maybe I typed the wrong thing in. So I'm going to do that intersection again just to make sure I didn't put the wrong answer in. So coming back over here to this one, I hit second calc 5, 1, 2, 3. Yes, it was a negative 2. So that's how you do that problem. Then we're going to come up here and do this problem up here. And I have to condense these two before I do anything else. Notice this has a minus, so this has to go on the bottom. So this is going to be the log. And then I'm going to have the 8x on the top because it's positive. And then this has to go on the bottom, and this is 1 plus radical x. And then I have my parentheses equals 2. So now what I got to do is do change of base. Now again, this base is not written here, so that means that's a 10. So that means I'm going to have 10 to the second is going to equal 8x over 1 plus radical x. Okay, now this is kind of a hard problem. I'm going to come up here and finish this. So when I take 10 and square it, I get 100. And that's going to equal this 8x in the top over 1 plus radical x. So I got to multiply that radical x over, which when I distribute that 100 times 1 is 100, plus 100 radical x equals 8x. And now I got a couple options. One option is I can come down here and I can put the y1 to this one just like I did over here. Let that be y1, that be y2. I could let this be y1 and that be y2 and graph them both and find their intersection. Or I can set this thing equal to 0. Okay, so I actually would be a minus here because I want this number to be positive. Subtract that 100. And then I'm going to subtract that 100. And I'm just going to see if I can factor this thing. So that I can divide all these by 4. So let's divide them all by 4. So that would be 2x minus 25 radical x minus 25 equals 0. So let's see if I can, if I take 2 times negative 25, that's negative 50. And this is negative 25. This will not factor. 1 and 50 don't give me this, and negative 2 and positive 25 don't give me this. Negative 10 and positive 5 don't give me that negative 25. So this doesn't factor. So I am going to have to use my calculator. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this part. And then I'm going to come up here and put this part as y1 again. I'm going to put this part as y2. And then I'm going to see on my calculator where those meet. So I'm going to type that in so you guys can hold on a second while I type those in. So let's see, I got 100 plus 100 radical x. And my other one is 8x. So I'm going to show you, I typed those in on my calculator. And I'm going to find the intersection of those, and that's going to be my x value. So see, I've typed them both in right there for 5 and 6. If you notice, I shut the equal signs off up above there so those won't graph. So I'm going to hit graph, and let's see what we got here. Okay, so that is my 8x graph, but that is not my radical 100 graph. So it's 100x plus 100 radical x. So I need to change my window. So here's what you can do to see the window. You hit zoom, And if you go look down, look, we're going to arrow up because it's faster. If I go up here to 0, zoom 0 is fit. I'm going to hit fit, and that's going to change my window. So there's my radical problem. And here comes my line, but I still can't see their intersection. So I got to go way out to the right to find this intersection. So I'm going to change my window now. This is what it did on automatic. So I'm going to go out to, and I'm going to put in 400 because I don't know how far out I got to go. And I'm going to graph them again. And that's not going to be good enough either. So now I got to go up higher in Y because they're up there higher in Y, but I'm not going to go quite out to 400. I'm going to change that to 100, but my Y's got to be more. So it's already at 416. Let's go to 1,000. I don't know if that's high enough or not. We hit graph again. And I have to go further to the right. So let's do window again. Oh, I didn't do 100. I did 1. I got to go to 100. Let's see if that does it. I don't know. We're going to wait and see. Here comes the other one. It's still off my graph. So I've got to go further to the right and further up. So I'm going to change my window. We'll go to 0. Let's go to 500. And let's go from 0 and let's try 3,000. I don't know if it's enough or not. I hope so. Okay, so there's my square root one. And, oh, we do have an intersection finally. Okay, so we do have an intersection now. And I'm going to make my window -1 and come down here to -1. Because I think it intersects twice, although we're not going to be able to see that. Because, let me see real quick. If I plug zeros in for my x's, I'm going to use this calculator again here in a second to see if oh, that's 100. Never mind. 0 won't get me because that's 100. So it is only intersecting that one place. So I'm going to hit second calc 5. I'm going to hit enter, 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 and there's my number right there, 180.384. So X on this problem is 180.384. And then we got this last problem, which I'm also doing on my calculator. So I go to Y equals, and I'm going to turn this first one on by going to the equal sign, hitting enter, and equal sign and hitting enter, because those are the two equations. And I'm going to come down here and hit enter on these equal signs to shut those off. And now I'm going to hit zoom. I'm going to go zoom 6, which will go back to -10 to 10, and see if that's going to give me enough of my intersections. Oh, I did not put the screen up. My bad. I did not show you my screen when I did that. So let me show you again here. So I turned those top two on, turned those off, graphed it, and there's the intersection right there. So I'm going to hit second calc 5. I'll go a little closer. Enter, enter, enter. And there's my intersection right here at 2.264, 2.264, 2.264. And that is my X for this one. So have a good day, and I will see you